I want to raise the question as to whether or not the 1,000, well, let's put it this way, whether all the videos and that were taken by Homeland Security and by the Southern District of New York from Puff Daddy's California and Florida residents, whether those videos and the evidence thereof and the people on those videos will ever see the light of day, or will they just disappear? Perhaps a greater question, will Puff Daddy himself disappear, as did Jeffrey Epstein? Will a person who has had power all the way up to the top of the power scheme, including Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama, will Puff Daddy, who has videos of the anatomy and private parts of people like Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Martha Stewart, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Al Sharpton, and a ton of others, Leo DiCaprio, just a ton of people that thought that they were safe, that their sexual habits, that they intermingle with young children and men and women simultaneously. All of this is on videotape. And I'm here again to announce that the young poet from the 1960s named Gil Scott-Heron, who stated that the revolution will not be televised, was wrong. No, this will be televised, or it may prove that I'm wrong, that these tapes will never see the light of day. Now, I want to say something to you. The rich, the powerful, and the privileged have the ability to escape punishments. They have the ability to have had their trysts, their sexual, if you will, proclivities, the unlimitedness of their sexual practices in the home of Puff Daddy and out in the Hamptons and some of the fancier places where they could walk around naked and intermingle in what used to be called an orgy back in the 60s and the 70s would then be called children's play compared to what went on with Martha Stewart, Barack Obama, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Al Sharpton, Eric Adams. What went on with them would be considered, and orgies would be considered children's play and would be rated R, rated, child rated compared to, will these tapes ever see the light of day? And one of the reasons I think that Eric Adams is found such ill favor is because he and Puff Daddy were lovers. Frankie and Johnny were lovers, at least that's what the story says, that these two were lovers, and the Southern District of New York has all of that information as well. And I want to answer a question that I raised myself about why is it that so many of Eric Adams' commissioners are resigning, under investigation, having their cell phones confiscated, having their homes raided, having their lives turned upside down. I believe this, Eric Adams and Puff Daddy again, Mr. Indian, if you'd put him up just one more time. I want to answer my own question, and I could have a misanswer here, but let me tell you why I believe Eric Adams, his administration is collapsing, and so many of his commissioners and administrators. I mean, what on earth would cause so many people to be involved in corrupt, bribe-taking, witness tampering, campaign finance fraud? Well, let me tell you what I believe it is. I believe the answer to that is Puff Daddy. I believe that all of these high-ranking police officials, health commissioners, school chancellors, fire commissioners, all of these persons that are under investigation have all been to Puff Daddy's freak-offs. That's what I believe. Could I be wrong? I could be. But I don't see any other reasonable answer as to why. What has tied all these people? I mean, you would find somebody that just said, no, I'm not taking a bribe. But being invited to Puff Daddy's white parties and having opportunity to have sex, and then many of these people having sex with children. And one of the reasons why the Homeland Security went after Puff for if you will, sex trafficking is because a large number of the people that were made available to these people like T.D. Jakes and Barack Obama and Al Sharpton, children, 9-year-old boys were made available to these men. And when I first heard, and I know some of you are very sensitive, I appreciate your sensitivity, but when I first heard 1,000 bottles of baby oil, let me tell you, my friend, all the hospitals in New York that do generic care, that take care of babies, that give birth to babies, don't have 1,000. If you put every hospital and went into every medical closet of every hospital in New York looking for baby oil, put all the hospitals together, including Staten Island, you wouldn't find 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I mean, you have what kind of, and this is by the not hyperbole, this was reported by the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams being the Attorney General for the Southern District of New York. I mean, what kind of pervert goes out and stocks up on baby oil? I mean, that's the first question. The second question is, why is baby oil so important and critical to whatever he was doing? What did he use baby oil for? And why did he believe that there would be a shortage of it? And he didn't ever want to be caught without it. So he bought 1,000 bottles of it. This is sick, everybody. Ask Obama. Obama, why did Puff Daddy buy 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Ask Al Sharpton. Al, why did your friend, your good friend, your number one ace boon coon, Al, what was your number one ace boon coon doing with 1,000 bottles of baby oil, Al? Why did he have that? What was his reasoning? Look at the eyes of these two devils. I mean, well, we know what the answer is, and because this is a polite, if you will, broadcast, I'm not going to go into the details, but it was used as a lubricant. Yeah. And usually you got old homosexuals been around the barn, like Al Sharpton's been around. You don't need a lubricant for him. You need a lubricant for a 9-year-old boy. That's what the baby oil for. And for 1,000 bottles, was it potentially that 1,000 9-year-old boys or 1,000 9-year-old girls would have had to be lubricated to give pleasure to Al Sharpton, to give pleasure to Jay-Z, to give pleasure to LeBron James, to give pleasure to Eric Adams? Was these bottles for the lubricant of the children? It's called baby oil. So they were using it on the babies, like Justin Bieber, like Usher. It's called baby oil. And they was using the oil on the babies. But people like LeBron James and Obama and Al Sharpton and Eric Adams and a bunch of others was lubricating these young children. 1,000 bottles. You can say what you want. You say, Pastor Manning, that's hyperbole. I just don't believe that took place. Well, you don't have to believe it, but it's reported. So my question is, and I'm going to let y'all go. I figure you've had your fill. My question is, will all of this just disappear like a flagellant in the wind? Will it just all of a sudden, nobody knows where Puff is, nobody knows where all the videos are, nobody knows where the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and the 500 dildos, it will just disappear and fall off the edge of the news? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, that's what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Jeffrey Epstein's client did not get away completely. Prince Edward over in London had to step down Bill Gates, Melinda Gates left that boy. When she found out he was down there with them little girls, them little girls, Bill Gates down there with them little girls in Jeffrey Epstein's island, she booked. But Epstein is alleged to have committed suicide. The question is now, what is America going to do about Puff Daddy and all of the people? Will they ever be brought to justice? And every time I would ask, where are you? I know I'm going to do this myself. Every time I see or hear someone like Obama or Al Sharpton speak, I would want to know, did you ever use a lubricant? Did you ever have need of a lubricant called baby oil in some of your practices? That's what I would want to know. And so, but my larger question is, will all of this disappear? Or will this truth finally be brought and the spotlight be shown on the perpetrators and molesters of no means ability? There's never been anything like it. We'll have to see. I'll keep reporting. You keep listening. I'm James A. Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. Don't you ever forget it.